Welcome to Chatbot Development Bootcamp, where we will dive into the exciting world of building intelligent chatbots from scratch. Are you ready to master the art of crafting conversational experiences that captivate and engage users? If so, you are in the right place. In today's digital landscape, where technology continues to shape the way we communicate, interact, chatbots have emerged as a game changer. They provide businesses with unique opportunity to connect with their audience, automate tasks, and deliver personalized experience at scale. Do you know that over 80% of businesses plan to integrate chatbots into their customer service strategy? It's no wonder chatbots are available 24/7. They handle repetitive queries efficiently. They can even understand natural language thanks to advancements in artificial intelligence. In this comprehensive course, we will equip you with the skills that you need to create chatbots that impress and leave a lasting impact. We'll be using the power of cutting-edge technology including ChatGPT API, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. With ChatGPT API, we will tap into OpenAI state-of-the-art language model, enable our chatbot to generate human-like responses, and engage in dynamic conversation. Don't worry if you are new to coding. We will guide you through HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, the building block of web development, to create an intuitive and visual appealing chatbot interface. Throughout this bootcamp, you will witness the transformation of blank canvas into a fully functional chatbot. We will cover everything from designing the user interface, processing the user input, integrating the ChatGPT API, to deploying the chatbot and enhancing its capability. Whether you're a seasoned developer looking to expand your skill set or a beginner eager to dive into the world of chatbot development, this course is designed to empower you with the knowledge and the skills needed to build a chatbot that make an impact. So, are you ready to embark on this exciting journey? Let's dive in and unlock the power of chatbot development together. Enroll now in the Chatbot Development Bootcamp. Build a chatbot from scratch using Chatbot API, HTML and CSS, and JavaScript. Hello guys, welcome back. In this video, I'm going to walk you through what we are going to create in this course. Over here, I have functionalities to send a message to the chatbot. So over here, I can write anything that I want. Tips to become a better programmer. So over here, we have a loading indicator, as you can see over here. We also have functionality to record our voice. So over here, if I click on allow microphone, pro tips to become a better person. As you can see over here, the message over here is being displayed. Also, we have functionality to clear the message. By the end of this course, you have the skills and the knowledge to build a state-of-art chatbot that will interact and drive engagement. Join me in this adventure where we use the power of ChatGPT API, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript to bring our vision to life. Are you ready to witness the magic of chatbot development? Let's dive in. In this video, we are going to set up the HTML structure for the chatbot. Download the resource file in this video description. We have the images. Inside the images folder, we have the chatbot image, which is here. And also inside the CSS, there is nothing inside. And also we have the JavaScript folder, which there is nothing inside. So you can choose to use your own asset if you want, or download the image in this video description. Over here, create a new file, call it index.html. Then over here, just type HTML column 5 and enter. Over here, this is where the title will go. So this is what we use to set the title for our page. So this one be chatbot. Then over I just click here and click on open with live server. Okay, so now this is what we have. And then this is what we want. Okay. So inside the body, we'll create a div with a class of chat container. So we have a div with a class of chat dash container. The chat container over here will contain the chat header. The chat header is this one. Contains the image, the chat name. Over here, inside it, we have a div dot chat dash header. Then inside it, we have image tag. So the image is inside the assets. Then images in chatbot.png. This one, the alt over here will be the description of what the image is about. So this one will be chatbot image. So you can give it anything that you want. So the alt is there for a reason. If the image fail to load, then the alt over here will be displayed. Then below it, we have a two. It's a class of chatbot dash name. Then inside it, you give it a title of chatbot. Okay. Now let's go and look at it. Okay, so now this is what we have. Then we have our chat container, which is this one. This is our chat container. So outside the chat header, but still inside the chat container. Where we have a div with a class of chat log. Then we also give it an ID over here of chat dash log. And inside it will be our message container. So we have a div with a class of message. Then also we also add additional utility class to it, which is called receive. Okay. This one over here will be our message container. Then over it we have a p tag with ampersand welcome dash message. Then over here will be our welcome message. So you can put it anything that you want. I'm going to use this one to save time. That's the welcome message that we are giving to the user. Then still inside the chat log, we have input, which is here. The chat input, which is here. So you can call it chat footer if you want. So still inside the chat container, here we have a div with a class of chat dash input. Then inside it we have our user input. So input dot user dash input. So over here the type is text and the placeholder will be type message, which is this. Then we also have button. These ones are all buttons. So over here we have our button with an ID of send dash button. Then we'll give it a text of send message. You can give it anything that you want over here. So now copy it and paste it. Then the second one over here is clear the message. So clear, just clear. Over here will be clear button. Then we also have voice detector. Then over here will be voice button. We also have message reader, which is this one, message reader. So you can copy this one, or this one will message dash reader dash button. They also have conversation there, which is this one. So this one over here will be conversation reader. Then over here will be conversation conversation dash reader dash button. Then outside the chat container, we have a div with an ID of loading indicator, load as indicator. Inside it, we have the loading spinner. So div with a class of loading as spinner. Okay, so now this is what we have. Now this is what we have. In the next video, what we are going to do is that we are going to start so that it look nice. So see you in the next video. In this video, we are going to start the HTML structure so that it look nice. Before we do that, we need to create a CSS file inside the CSS folder. So over here, create a new file, call it chatbot.css. Then over here, just link it. So this one will be link colon CSS. Then over here, move this one from here. So the chatbot.css is inside the asset folder, CSS, then chatbot.css. And also the favorite icon, this one, we are going to use this image as our favorite icon. So over here will be link colon favorite icon. So we need to remove this one from here. Asset again. This time around it will be images, then chatbot.png. Okay, so now let's go back to our browser. Okay, we have this one over here, and we also have this one over here. The first thing I want us to do is to decrease the image, the size of the image. So I will go here, realize that the image over here has a tag, has the image tag. There is no ID attached to it. So over here, we can choose to give it an ID or a class. So over here, we can give it a class of image dash container. So over here, copy this one from here. So this one with dot, then paste it here. So this one over here, will give it a width of 40 ps, so height of 40 ps. Yeah. Okay. So now let's go back and check. Okay, now this is what we are having. So click here and inspect. So now click on the body. Realize that by default an HTML element has a default margin attached to it, as you can see over here, 8 ps. The first thing I want us to do is to remove the default margin from it. So go to your sources. Over here, press Ctrl P and type chatbot.css. So this is where we are going to develop it. So this one be body, give it a margin of 0 ps, padding 2 of 0. And if you check our finish side, you realize that there is a gray color over here. The background is gray. So over here, we'll give it a background color of ampersand F9, 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 then semicolon. Now the next thing I want us to work on is the chat container. I want it to be at the center. So copy this one from here. Then over here, paste dot, then paste it here. So I give it a mass dash rate to be 820 ps. Then margin to be 20 ps. That's top and bottom. Then auto left and right. Then I want the background to be ampersand FFF. Then border dash radius to be 5 ps. Then overflow to be hidden. Then box dash shadow to be 0, 2 ps, 6 ps. Then RGBA, this one be 0, 0, 0, then opacity will be 0.1, then semicolon. The next thing I want us to work on is the chart header. So copy this one from here. So this one with dot, then paste it here. So this one I'll give it a background to be blue. So ampersand 007BFF, then semicolon. Then color, that's the color of the text. I want it to be white. FF. Then we have padding to be 10 ps. Then display over here, I want it to be flex. I want them to sit side by side. Then align items to be center. Now the next thing I want us to work on is the A2, which is this one. Copy this one from here. Then over here, dot, paste it here. Give it a margin of 0. Okay. So now the next thing I want us to work on is the chat log, which is this one. I mean this one, this message area. Okay, so copy this one from here. Then over here, dot, paste it here. Over here, we'll give it a height of 370 ps. Overflow y to be scroll. Then padding to be 10 ps. The next thing I want us to work on is the message. So copy this one from here. Then over here, just paste it here. The first one is the message itself, the receive. So dot. Over here, we'll give it a padding of 10 ps. Then we'll give it margin dash bottom to also be 10 ps. Then border dash radius to be 5 ps. Then we have dot received. With that one, I want us to give it a background to be ampersand F0, F0, F0. Then semicolon. Then color to be ampersand 333. Then semicolon. Okay. Then over here we have dot sent. I'll give it a background color to be ampersand E3 F2 FD. Then semicolon. Then we have color to be ampersand 333. Then text align to be right. Okay. So now copy everything from here. Replace this one with the copy text. Now let's go back to our browser and inspect. Okay. So now this is what we have. Now let's continue with our styling. The next thing I want us to work on is this one. To copy this one, inspect this one. Realize that it's what the chat input. So copy this one from here. So by your be cut and paste it here. So I will give it a display over here to reflect because I want them to sit side by side. Then align items to be center. Then padding with MPS. Then border dash top to be 1 PS solid. Then ampersand CCC. Okay. So then the next thing I want us to work on is the input element. So this one be input. Then type will be equal to text. So the type of the input will be text. Then we have flex to be 1. The flex is 1. Then we have the padding to be 8 PS. Border to be none. Then border dash radius to be 20 PS. Then we have background dash color to be ampersand F5 F5 F5. Then semicolon. Then plus dash shadow. We have 0, 2 PS, 5 PS. RGBA 0,0,0,0.1. Then semicolon. Then we have input, then the type will be text. And this one we colon focus. So when you focus on it, I want the outline to be none. So now the next thing I want us to work on is this one. That's the button. The button that I want us to work on. So this one with button. We have margin dash left to be 10 PS. Then we have padding up to be 8 PS. And left and right to be 15 PS. Border to be none. Then border dash radius to be 5 PS. Then we have background color. Background to be ampersand 007BFF in semicolon. Then we have color to be ampersand FFF. Then we also have transition to be background dash color. Then we have 0.3 seconds. Then is. Then this one is semicolon. Then we also have box dash shadow to be 0, 2 ps, 5 ps, RGBA. So this one is 0, comma 0, comma 0, comma 0.1. Then here will be semicolon. The next thing I want us to work on is when we hover on this one. That's the button. When we hover, we need to change the background color. So this one will be button colon hover. So I copy this one from here and paste it here. So this one will give it 0056B3. So when we hover on it, as you can see over here, and also over here, we need to give it a cursor of pointer. So now the next thing I want us to work on is this one, the paragraph tag. So over here, it will be P, give it a line height of 2.1, then semicolon, then letter spacing to be 1 ps. Okay. So now the next thing I want us to work on is the loading indicator, then the error message. So over here be ampersand loading dash indicator. This one will top to be 45%, display to be none, left to be 48%, align dash item to be center, then justify content to also be center. Then position over here will be absolute. Okay. Then we have dot loading dash spinner. So I will give it a width to be 40 ps. Height will also be 40 ps. Border dash radius to be 50%. Then we have border to be 4 ps. Solid RGBA 0, 0, 0.2. And here will be semicolon. Then we have border dash top dash color to be ampersand 3498 dB. And this one will be semicolon. We have animation. So animation over here will be equal to spin 1 seconds, infinity, linear, then semicolon. So over here will be at keyframes, then spin. This one over here will be what? 2. Then over here will be transform, rotate to 360 degree. Over here will be semicolon. So over here, if we set the display to flex, we like that to show over here. As you can see over here, this is the loading spinner. So copy everything from here. Then replace this one with the copy text. And don't forget to save it. Okay. Now everything is looking nice. So the next thing I want us to work on is make the background color gray and also style the scroll bar. Then we are done. So go to the index.html. What we need to do is just cut this one from here. Then over here, just paste it in. Okay. So I think that's it. So this is what we are expecting. And for the meantime, you hide this one, the loading spinner. So when the user typing something here, then click on send or click on enter. Then we'll display this one. So for the meantime, we'll hide it. Okay, so go to chatbot. Over here, instead of flex, it will be none. I mean this one, instead of flex, it will be none. Then scroll down. Over here will be column, column, web, webkit dash scroll bar. So with this one, we have a weight to give it a weight of 6 ps, then semicolon. Then we have dash webkit dash scroll bar that so this is it. So over here we change the background color. So we give it a background color of light gray. So this one will be RGBA 0.2, which is this one. Then we give it a border radius to be 3 ps. Okay. Now the next thing we want to work on is when the user over on this one, so copy this one from here, or yeah, copy this one from here, then paste it here. So when they hover on it, colon over. So let's copy this one. And over I paste it here. So instead of to this one be 3, then track this one be colon dash webkit dash scroll bar dash track. This one to the background, I want it to be gray. So background color to be ampersand F9 F9 F9. Okay, so that's what we have now. So go back. Okay. Now everything is looking nice. In the next video, what we are going to work on is JavaScript functionality. So see you in the next video. In this video, we are going to work on generating a generic name for our chatbot. The question then becomes, why do we need a generic name for our chatbot? Generating a generic name for our chatbot add a personal touch to the bot. Just like humans, chatbots benefit from having a unique identity. A well-crafted name creates a sense of personality, making the interaction more engaging for users. Trust is crucial when it comes to user experience. By giving the chatbot a name, you establish a sense of credibility and users feel more comfortable engaging with the bot that appears friendly and trustworthy. Generating a name also allows you to create consistency in your chatbot interaction. By referring to the bot using its name, you provide the user with constant point of reference throughout your conversation. In this video, we are going to use JavaScript to create that functionality. So open up your favorite code editor or IDE that you are using. Then inside the assets, create a new file inside the assets. Call it chatbot.js. And inside your index.html, we need to link the script. So why will be scripts. And over the script tag is inside the asset folder, js, and chatbot.js. So over here will be assets, assets, js, chatbot.js. And over here to test and see whether the script is working fine, just do console.log hello, or starting, anything at all that you want. You can give it any name that you want. So starting, then semicolon. So let's go back to our browser. Click anywhere and inspect. Check your console. So as you can see, starting, so meaning our logic is working fine. The first thing we need to do is to give in the chatbot a name. That's the name of the function. So over here we'll call it function, and we'll give it a name. The name of our function will be what? Generate chat name or chatbot name. So this is the name of our function, generate chatbot name. Then inside it, we'll define JavaScript arrays. So the first array that we are going to define is our adjective. So the adjective over here contains various descriptive words. So over here will be cons adjectives. So adjectives is equal to our array. So inside the array will be the words that we are going to add. So that's the descriptive words that we are going to add. So the first word over here will be amazing. Then we have brilliant. Then we have creative or creativity. Creativity. Then we have dynamic. Then we also have energetic. So this is my adjective that I'm adding in semicolon. Now the next one that I want us to add is the noun. That's the variable, the noun array. So the noun variable over here will contain or the role or the function of the chatbot, what the chatbot is about. So over here becomes nouns is equal to our array. So the first one will be bot. Then we have assistant. Then we have companion. Then we have guide. Then we have helper. So this one over here is the role that the chatbot is playing. So we have our adjective. You can add more words to it if you want. The array. This is what we have. The next thing that we need to do is to create a variable to generate a random adjective from this one for us. That's what we are going to do. Create a variable to generate a random adjective. So this one becomes random adjective. So the random adjective over here will be equal to adjectives as this variable adjective. This variable over here contain the array, and over here will be math dot floor. So the math dot floor variable over here return the greatest integer less than or equal to the numeric argument. What it means is that it's used to round down the nearest whole number. That's what this one is used for. Then we have math dot random. The math dot random over here is a function used to generate a random number between 0 and 1. Then over here we multiply it by the adjective length 2 times the adjectives dot length Then over here will be semicolon. Alright, let's do console.log. Check and see what we are getting. Console.log. Over here, let's call the function generate chatbot name. And this is what we have. Okay. Now let's go back. Click here and inspect. Check your console. So as you can see over here, we are getting the word energetic. So when I refresh the page, I'll be getting a unique name for our chatbot. Anytime that we refresh the page, we'll be getting a generic name for our chatbot. We are going to do the same functionality for nouns. So what we need to do is just copy it and paste. Copy this one and paste it here. This one will be random nouns instead of random noun. Then this one instead of adjective it will be nouns. Then over is instead of the adjectives to be noun. This is what we have. We have random noun and we have random adjective. So I will just return. You can use backticks then concatenate it if you want. So random adjective and space random noun. Okay, and semicolon over here, semicolon. Let's go back to our browser. Let's refresh it. We are not getting anything. So the question then becomes why are we not getting anything? So instead of doing it this way, let's rather console.log. So copy this one from here. Copy this one from here. And let's do console.log. There is it. Let's see what we are getting. Okay, so as you can see, brilliant bot. This one is the name that we are going to display over here. That's the name that we are going to display over here and also here. So let's comment on this one. Then comment on this one for now. Okay. Remove this one from here. We don't need it. Okay. So in the next video, what we are going to work on is to display name here and also create a function for welcome message. So while we replace this one with the function, right? A dynamic, we will display dynamic data over here. In this video, we are going to create functionality, display the chatbot name here, and also change the title from chatbot to dynamic name. In order for us to do that, the first thing that we will do is to create a function. So this one be function set chatbot name. So that's the name of the function that we are creating. Set chatbot name. And the first thing that we will do is to get chatbot name from this function. So over here will be cons. We'll create a variable cons. So we can choose to do it here. So over here, let's do it here. Let's create a global variable. So cons chatbot name. So to be for now, we have this one. So this is our chatbot name that we are having. Or we can set it to empty string if you want. So this is what we have. Our chatbot name. Then over here, to be our chatbot name is equal to generate chatbot name. That's our function that we created over here. Okay. So this is what we have now. Now the next thing that we are going to do is to attach name, that's the generated name, this element. In order for us to do that, we need to target the element. You can choose to target the element by the class name or target the element by the ID. So We are going to target it by the class name. So this one be document dot query selector. Then this one be dot. The class name is chatbot dot name. That's name. To copy this one from here, paste it here. Then it will be dot text content. The text content will be equal to what the chatbot name, which we are having it here. And the next thing that I want us to do is to change the title over here. So it's really very simple. So this one will be document dot title is equal to chatbot name semicolon. Okay. So over here, let's print it out. Set name, which is this one. And let's go back to our browser. Refresh it. We are getting what? Concord type error. Assignment to constant variable at set chatbot name. Chatbot name. So instead of const, let's make it let and see what we are getting. Because with constant, we can't change it. Okay. So as you can see over, we are getting what? Dynamic helper. So anytime that I refresh the page, I'm getting new name for our bot, which is working fine. So you can add so many words to your arrays. If you want, you can add more properties to it. Now the next thing I want us to do is to work on this one. Change the welcome message. So this one will create a new function again. We can do it here, but let's do it here. This one will be function. Name of the function will be show welcome message. So that's the name of the function. Then what we need to do is to get this element as welcome message. We will target it by ID. So we need to get this one. So copy this one from here. And over it becomes welcome message is equal to document dot get element by ID, because the element is having an attribute of what? Attribute name of what? ID. We are using the JavaScript API document dot get element by ID to target this particular element. So over here will be welcome dash message. Now this is what we have. We have this one over here. We are getting an error. It's supposed to be a function. It's supposed to be not here. So cut it from here. Remove this one from here. And also remove this one from here. This is a parameter. So it's supposed to be inside the body, which is here. And over here will be semicolon. The next thing that we'll do is that we'll change the text over here. So over here will be welcome message dot text content is equal to backtick. Then what we need to do is really simple. What we need to do, copy this one from here and paste it here. So instead of curious advisor, make it dynamic now to be chatbot. This is what we have. Then we have two options. We can either pass in the name over here if you want to. We can pass it here. That chat name. Let's pass it here rather. This one to be chat name. Is it? Then over here we'll call the function show message. Then over here we'll pass it in the name chatbot name. And over here will be semicolon. let's go back to our browser and test and see whether our logic is working fine. So as you can see, welcome to creative board. So anytime that I refresh it, as you can see why everything is working fine. So our logic is working fine. So see you in the next video. Hello guys, welcome back. In this video, we are going to create functionality to display messages. So over here, highlight everything from here. Then over here, write document dot add event listener dom content loader. Then over here will be our function. Then paste it here. So we are attaching the dom content loader to our script. This allows us to execute the JavaScript code or perform certain action when the DOM is ready. So when the DOM is ready, then this one will work. So the next thing I want us to do is to create the function. Before we do that, we'll target this element. We'll get this element by ID. So over here will be let chat log is equal to document dot get element by ID. Then this one will be chat dash log. That's the name of the ID. So the value over here is chat log. Then over here we'll create our function. Over here will be function. The name of the function will be display message. It takes two parameters. The first one is being the type. That's whether the type is error or receive or sent. The second one is the message itself, that is data. So it takes two parameters. The first one is the type, that's the class, and the second one being the message. So over here will be let message container be equal to document dot create element then div. Then over it we have what we will do is that we'll add a class to the div. So over here will be message container dot class list dot add message, and the type over here will be type. So if the type is receive, we'll add the receive to this message. If the type is error, we'll add the error to this message. If the type is sent, we'll add sent to this message. That's what we are going to do. Then semicolon. Then over here we have let message text be equal to document dot create element. So this one will be a p tag, that's paragraph. Then over here we message text dot text content. So the text content over here will be our message. Then we'll append it to the message container. So we'll append this to the message container. So this one will be message container dot append child message text. Then over here will be then we'll append this one to chat log to attach everything over here to this one. Element with the ID chat log. So that's what we are going to do. So over here will be chat log dot append child message container. Then over here will be chat log dot scroll top is equal to chat log dot scroll height then semicolon. Okay. So this is what we have. The next thing I want us to do is to check for internet connectivity, whether the internet is working or not. But we need internet connection in order for us to fetch data from the OpenAI API. So we need to check and see whether to function, we create a new function, check internet connection. So this one will return navigator dot online, then semicolon. So while we can choose to do console.log to check and see whether it's working. Console.log, checking internet connection, then comma. And this one we check internet connection. That's our function. Then over here we semicolon. Okay. So let's go back to our browser and check. Click here and inspect console. So as you can see over is true. So if it's false, then we'll display an error message over here. Right. Okay, so cut this one from here. And the next thing I want us to do is when the user type in something and click here, I want us to display a loader over here. Display a loader. It will wait for some time before the message will be fetched. So we want us to display a loader over here. So over here we'll create a new function, show loading indicator. So this one be function. The name of the function be show loading indicator. So over here we'll target the loading indicator over here. Realize that inside the loading indicator we have display to be none. So when there is an input, the user type in something and click on send, will show make this one flex instead of none or block. So it's up to you. So over here will be document dot get element by ID. So get the element that we are targeting is loading indicator, which is this one. So you can copy it from here and paste it here. Then this one will be dot star dot display to be instead of none it will be flex. Then we'll create another function. So you can copy this one from here and just paste it here. It will be hide. So this one will be hide loading indicator. So in this one instead of flex it will be none. Okay. The last thing I want us to do is the scroll bar. I want us to work on the scroll bar. So let's duplicate this one for now. Copy this one and paste it here for so many times. Okay. So as you can see, this is it. So anytime that we send a message, I want us to make this one scroll automatically to the bottom. In order for us to do that, we need to create functionality for that. So over here will be over here we are going to create scroll chat log functionality. So this one over here will be function scroll chat log. Over here we create a variable let to be boolean, so it's scrolled to bottom. Then over here will be chat log dot scroll height minus chat log dot height is less than or equal to chat log dot scroll up. Then over we add +1 to it. Okay. So this scroll to bottom over here, we check and see whether the scroll bar, which is this one over here, is already at the bottom or not. Then over here will be chat log dot scroll top is equal to chat log dot scroll height. Over will be semicolon. Over here we can invoke the function. So this one be scroll chat log. Then over here. So let's go and check. So as you can see over here, this is it. This is it. Okay. Then over here, we create another function. So this one be function restore restore scroll position. So restore scroll position. Then over here will be chat log dot scroll up is equal to scroll position. Okay. So over here we have not created a variable yet. So copy this one from here. It's a variable. So copy this one from here. Then over here will be let and paste it here equal to 0. Then over here we'll check inside the chat log scroll. We'll check and see whether scroll to bottom is true. So if it's true, then if the scroll to bottom is true, then invoke restore scroll position. That's it. Okay. So now everything is working fine. So now let's go and remove this one from here. We don't need it. Let's remove it. We don't need it. And also let's remove this one. We don't need it. So in the next video, what we are going to work on is to send a message. In this video, we are going to create functionality to make the send button work. So when the user type in something and click on this one, we are going to make it work. So first, we'll target the element by ID. So when you click here and inspect, realize that the element is having an ID of send button. So copy it from here. Over here, we'll create a variable. This one be let send button be equal to document get element by ID send button. So over here we can create our function anywhere. Let's do it here. So this one will be send button dot add event listener. Click. And this one will be our function. I want to use async and await. So this one will be async. So when a user click on send button, what I want us to do is to get the user input. So realize that the input element is having a class of user input. As you can see over here, input element over here is having a class of user input. So get that one. So over here will be let user input is equal to document dot query selector. So this one will be query selector and dot. We add a dot to it because it's a class. As you can see, which is here. Okay. So when the user click on the button, first we get the input. So this one be let user message be equal to user input dot value dot trim dot value dot value then dot trim. So this one over here, we'll remove all space before it or no space after it. So why we can do console.log to check and see whether our logic is working fine. Okay, let's check our console. Type in something, then click on send. So as you can see, why our logic is working fine. So if the input is not empty, so we'll check and see whether it's not empty. So over here will be if not, so user message is not equal to. So if the user message is not empty, then what we will do is that we will check and see whether the user is not offline. So I will check and see whether internet connection is not offline. So I will be if not check connection. So if the user is offline, we will display a message and just return it. We will not do anything else again. But if the user is not offline, then we'll continue. So I will be if no, I will display a message. So this one will display message. The display message method takes two parameters. The first one being the type. The type over here will be error. And the second one being the custom message that you want to send. So sorry, that's the class that we are adding to it. And this one be the message will be sorry, you are offline. Please check your internet connection. Then over here will be just return. We'll just return it. So if the user is offline, we'll not continue anything over here, we'll just return it. So now copy this one over here. We need to go and install it so that it look nice. So we can do it here or here. So this one with dot message dot then paste it here. So I will give it a background to be ampersand FFE6E6. Then we'll give it a color to be ampersand D8000C. Then semicolon. Then we'll give it a padding to be 10 ps. Padding to be 10 ps. Border color. The border color to be same as this one. So copy this one for me. Then paste it here. Then we have margin dash bottom to be 10 ps. Then we have border radius to be 4 ps. Then display over here to be flex. Align items to be center. So let's go and check. So realize that we are not getting anything over here. The reason is being that the user is online. So when I click over here, I enter in something, I click here. We are not getting anything over here. So let's try and do something here to show you that our logic is working. Copy this one from here. Then else block, or even here we can paste it here. Then instead of receive, this one will maybe sent. So you are online, online. Okay, let's move this one and check and see whether our logic is working. Okay, so now just enter in some dummy data and click on it. So as you can see over here, our logic is working fine. You are online. So is offline, if the user is offline, will not continue, just display the error message and just return it. Right? But if the user is online, then we'll continue. So we can add so many edge cases to our app. We can check to see whether the length meet our requirements. We can check for the length if we want, whether the length meet our requirements. What I'm going to do here is to just display the message. I'm not going to check for the length, so I'll just display the message. So this one will display message, this one be sent. Then the second one is the message data. So this one contains the message data. So over here will be user message in semicolon. So let's check. How are you doing? Then click on send. So as you can see over here, our logic is working fine. So if this right, so why it's up to you what you want to do. You can also check for the length, as I said earlier. You can check for the length to see whether the length meets your requirements, the input that you want from the user. Or you can choose to leave it like that if you want. If you want to check for the length, you do user message dot length is greater than certain character. Over here you can declare a variable here called mass length. Then over here you check to see whether, so this is what I'm trying to say. So over here we can do cons mass input length. Let's say 100, or for now let's say 10 semicolon. Then over here I'll check. So this one be else if if user message dot length is greater than mass input length. So if user input dot length is greater than mass input length, then we'll display an error message. So over here, we can copy this one over here and paste it here. Over here, instead of sorry, this one will be your message exceeds the maximum length of, then over here, we'll concatenate it with mass input, then plus characters. This is what we are trying to do. So if the message length exceed the mass input length, then we display an error message, then we just return it. We will not continue in it, we will just return it. So let's try and see something whether our logic is working fine. So enter in something now, click on this one. So as you can see over here, your message exceed the maximum length of 10 characters. So it's up to you, but I'm not going to do this, so I will just comment on it. If you want to add that functionality to it, you just comment it. Okay. So now the next thing I want us to do is to check and see. Let's say when the user enters something like slash help, right? We need to create a process it and write a message for the user. So over here, in order for us to do that, what we will do is that we will first check and see whether the message that the user entered, the message which is this one, right? Start with maybe slash something. We need to process it. Okay. Okay. So I think let's do it in the next video. This video in this video, we are going to create functionality to process special command. So over here, we'll check if so this one we can choose to do it here. Else over here, we'll check if user message dot start with. So if the user message starts with slash, then this is what we are going to do. We'll create a variable called cons, then command. We'll call the variable name command is equal to user message dot to lowercase. So we want to strip it to lowercase. There is it. So if message contain let's say slash help or slash about or slash anything, then over here what we are going to do is that we'll process it. So this one will process special command. Else cut this one from here, then paste it here. Okay. So if the message, that's this one, the data that we are getting from the user, contain special command, then we'll process it. So over here we can choose to do it up there. So over here will be function process special command. We have the command. So over here will be command if command is triple equal to slash help, then this one will be display message. The type over here will be sent. Then the message over here will be you you can ask me questions or seek assistance. How may I help you? So this is the message. So if the command is slash help, so let's go and test and see whether our logic is working fine. So if the command is slash help, then send. It's not right. Click here and inspect console. So you are getting unexpected string 39, which is this one. So let's remove it from here, then semicolon. Okay. So over here, click, type in anything, slash help, then send. So they said start with. It's not a function. So let's see what is wrong. Okay. So that W is supposed to be uppercase. So now let's go back and test it and see. So this one is slash help, then send. So as you can see, you can ask me question or seek assistance. How may I help you? Okay. Meaning that our logic has worked fine. So now, if else, this one be else, if command command is triple equal to about, then copy this one from here, then paste it here. So this one over here will be, let's remove the text. This one over here will be I am a chatbot designed to assist you. Feel free to ask me anything. Else, if the command is not maybe slash help slash about, over here we add a different message. Copy this one here, paste it. So this one over here will be, I am sorry, I'm sorry, I don't understand this command or that command. Type slash help for assistance. Okay, so there is it. So when I type in something over here or slash anything at all, then I click on send. I'm sorry, I don't understand that command. Type help for assistance. Okay. Now the next thing I want us to work on is to empty this one. Empty it. Okay. Okay. So we need to empty it then. So this one will be copy this one from here. Then over you paste it here. Dot value to be equal to now. Then over here to the same thing. Copy this one from here and paste it here. Okay. So when I type in something here, then I click on this one. It's not working. So click here and inspect. Empty the cache. Type again. Click on it. It's still not working. The question then becomes, what's the issue? Okay. So instead of doing it this way, let's cut it from here. Then paste it here and see whether it will work. Then click on it again. It's still not working. Okay. So it's still not working. User message. Okay. So instead of user input, we are getting the user message, which is wrong. This one is supposed to be user input. And this one will be user input. User input rather. So copy this one from here and paste it here. Okay. So let me type in another thing again and click on. Okay. So our logic has worked fine. So in the next video, what we are going to do is to get the API key. In this video, we are going to get OpenAI key. So before we do that, go to platform.openai.com, create an account. When you are done, click on your personal profile, this one, click on it, and click on view API keys. So as you can see over here, click on this one. Now click on create a new secret key. This one you can call it anything that you want. I'm going to call it secret or personal chatbot. You can call it anything that you want. Then click on create secret. Copy the key, copy this one. And over here, You will create a new variable. So this one be let API key is equal to, then you just paste it here. Then over will be semicolon. So there is it. The next thing I want us to do is to get the API URL. So this one be let API URL be equal to. So we need to go to documentation, then chat collection, so which is this one. Then click on make an API call for chatbot based language model. So this one, click on it. Then over I copy this one from here, copy it. Then over I just paste it here. Then over I will semicolon. So what we need to do is to check, we'll check and see whether the API key is empty or not. We'll check for developmental purposes. We'll check and see whether, so when you are shipping from production, then you move it from there. So I will check and see whether, so if API key is not empty, then continue. Else, if the API key is empty, if the API key is empty, then what are we going to do? If the API key is empty, we'll display an error message. So copy this one from here, then paste it here. Okay, so this one will be error. Then the error message will be what? For developmental purposes. So this one be no API key is provided, unable to send message. Okay, so there is it. We can copy this one from here and paste it here and paste it here also. So if the API key is available, then what are we going to do? If the API key is available, so this one use try catch. If the API key is available, copy this one from here. Right, let's paste it here. So if the API key is available, what we will do is that we will send the response, that's the message, to over here will be let response is equal to await and send chat message. This one will be user response, that's user message. So if the API key is available, then over here will be user message, which we are getting from here. Then over, we have not created this function yet, we'll create it very soon. Then over here, we'll check if response is true, meaning that if it containing something. So if it containing something, then over here will be display message. So this one will be received. Then this one will be response. Then what are we going to do next? We'll call scroll chat log. Then this one will semicolon. But if there's error, maybe internet connection or something like that, over here will be display message error. Then this one over here will be error. Then this one we failed to fetch response from the API. So this one is semicolon. This is what we are trying to do. So if this code block over here failed, then we'll catch the error over here in display it. And we can also choose to do console.log error if you want. Console.error if you want. We can choose to do that also. Okay. So for now, let's create this function. So this one will be function. So this here will be function. Then paste it here. Then why I just do console.log I. Okay. So now let's go and test and see whether our logic is working fine. So this one is hello or hi. Then click on send. Okay. So hi. Okay. So meaning that our logic is working fine. So in the next video, we are going to create this function, send chat message. In this video, we are going to create send chat message functionality. So it's over here, instead of user message, let's make it message. Remove this one from here. Then this one be async. So realize that inside our API reference, we have the request body. The model, that's the ID of the model to use. So that's the model endpoint compatibility table. So over the model that we are going to use is this one. That's what we are going to use. So over here will be let data be equal to the model over here will be just copy it to save time, which is this one. Copy it from here and paste it here. Then comma messages. Messages. So this one be messages. So it's an array with an object. So this one is an array with an object. So we have copy this one from here. That's the user. Copy this one from here. Then over here, just paste it here. So the row is over here is the user. The content over here is what we are getting from here. User. That's the user input. This one instead of hello, it will be message. Then we also have what. So over here will be the row again will be system. So instead of user, it will be system. Then we have content. The content over here will be, let's go down. Okay, so there is it. We have so many this thing that we can. So we can just copy this one. Or we can choose to copy what we have here. Then paste it here. Then over here will be comma. Okay, so now this is what we have. We have our data over here. So when the send chat message is being processing, then what we will do is that we will now show the loading indicator. When this one is being processing, we'll show it. So this one will be over here will be semicolon. And this one will show loading indicator. Then over here will be semicolon. Okay. Now the next thing that we are going to do is to try and get fetch the data. So this one will use the fetch. So this one we try and catch again. If there's an error, we'll display it. So over here will be inside the try, we have let response equal to await. Then this one be fetch API URL, which is this. Then we have comma. Then over here will be our method. Our method will post. Then headers. So the headers will be we have content type will be application slash JSON. Then we have authorization. So authorization over here will be backtick, be where. Then this one will be the API key. API key. Then this is what we have. Then comma again. Then we have the body. Then the body over here. So the body over here will be outside the header. So over here, still inside the fetch. So over here we have the body, which is JSON.stringify data. The data we are getting it from here. Then over here will be semicolon. And there will be an issue. So if there is an error, if there is an error with this one, then we'll display it. So over here will be if response response dot data respond dot okay. So if it's not okay, then we need to display an error message. So this one we throw new error, and this one be an error occurred while sending a chat message. Over here will be semicolon. Then over here will be let response data equal to await and respond on JSON. Then over here will be if response data and response data dot twice and respond those at the length is greater than 0. Then over here will be let what response is equal to response data dot twice, and this one is 0, then dot message dash content. Then over here with semicolon. Then over here we just hide the loading indicator. Then we display the message. This one will display message. This one will receive. Then this one will bot response. Then over here with semicolon. But if there is an error, then over here will be console or console error, console.error, the error. Then YOB display message. This one with error. Then the error message YOB. Sorry. This one be sorry and error occurred. Please try again. Okay. Now this is what we have. Let's go and test and see whether our logic is working fine. Now let's refresh it. Click anywhere in the space. Empty the cache. Okay. So this one just type tips to become a better programmer. Then you click on send. So it's loading. Let's wait for some time to see. Okay, so as you can see over here, our logic has worked fine. We have gotten some data over here. In this video, we are going to create functionality to clear chat messages. So when the user click on this one, they will clear all the chat messages. Before we do that, over here will be else. Then we'll handle the API error. So this one be handle API error. Then this one will be response data. So copy this one from here. Then we can create a function here. So this one becomes, I'm using arrow notation to cons handle API error. Then this one be response data. Then we have this one over here. So by what we'll do is we'll check if response data is not empty and response data dot error and response data dot error dot message. Then over here will be, you can choose to copy this one. So copy this one from here and paste it here. Else paste it here. So this one over here will be API. So this one will be API error. Then this one will be response data dot error dot message. Right. Then maybe plus then semicolon. Okay. So now this is what we have. Okay. Now the next thing I want us to do is that when the user type in something and press the enter key, I want us to send a message. So in order for us to do that, where should we do it? Yeah, we can do it here. So this one will be user input dot add event listener. This one will be key press, then our function. So this one it will be event. So this one will be if event dot key is triple equal to enter. If event dot key is triple equal to enter, then this one will be send button dot click. Then copy this one over here. Then paste it here. So this one key down. Okay. And over here will be user input dot value, make it empty. Copy this one from here, then paste it here. Okay. So now the next thing I want us to work on is to create function to remove all chat messages, a clear or history. Okay. So over here we create a variable. Realize that over here we have an ID of clear button. So you can copy this one from here. Then over here will be cons or let clear button be equal to document dot get element by ID. Get element by ID. You put it here. Clear button. So when the user click on it, we will clear the chat and display a message. Okay. So where should we do it? Where should we do it? We can choose to do it here. Okay. So let's do it here. So this one will be clear button dot add event listener. Then this one we click. Then our function. Then over here will be clear chat history. Then over here will display a message. So this one will be display message. This one will be receive. Then comma. Then the message will be here. So it will be this one. So copy, or we can copy this one from here. Then over here just paste it here. Now let's create this function. This one will be function clear chat history. And this one will be while chat log dot fetch child. Chat log dot fetch child. So which is chat log is this one. Dot fetch child, which is this one. And over here will be chat log dot fetch child dot remove. So we are done. So now let's go back. Type in something slash help. So as you can see, this is what we have. So when I click on this one, everything is going to click here and inspect. Let's go to our console. Chat name is not defined. It said chat name is not defined. Yeah, so it's supposed to be not chat name rather, but chatbot name, which is this one. So cut this one from here. Cut this one from here, and let's paste it here. Since we are using chatbot name over here, that's why we are pasting it below the said chatbot. So let's go and test and see. So over here will be slash about. Okay. So now let's click on it. Okay. Our logic has worked fine. So we are done with creating functionality to send a message and also clear a message So in the next video, what we are going to do is create functionality to detect speech recognition, which is this one, which we are going to work on in the next video. Hello guys, welcome back. In this video, we are going to create functionality to read message. So where will be function read message. It takes in one parameter, that's a message. Number will be if window dot speech synthesize and we also want to check and see whether the speech synthesize is utterance. So this one speech synthesize is utterance. So if speech synthesize is utterance is triple equal to a function. Triple equal to function. So doing the type of it, so the type of this one is equal to a function, then over here will be this one will create a variable called const speech synthesize is equal to window or speech synthesize. So we have created a variable to hold this one. And over here to will be const utterance equal to new speech synthesize is utterance. And over here we'll pass in the message argument, that's message, that's the parameter, then semicolon. Then over here will be const result is equal to speech synthesize dot speak. Then this one will be utterance, which is this one. Okay. And over here will be if results triple equal to undefined. Then this one will display message. Then here will be error. Then the message name over here will be speech synthesize failed. Then over here will be semicolon. Then else this one. So else block. This one will be display message. Then error. Then we have invalid message or unsupported browser. So that's it. Okay. So now the next thing I want us to do is that when the user click on this one, message reader, then we'll handle the functionality to read the message for us. So realize that this is it. So this one over here will read the current message for us. Okay. So we can put all the variable at the top. So this one be const read current message is equal to realize that it's having an ID of message dash reader dash button. So copy this one from here. So this one be document dot get element by ID. Then we'll paste it here. Okay, so now this is what we have. We can do it here. So what we need to do is that when the user click on it, click on this will trigger the read message, which is this one. Okay. So over here will be document. I mean, when the user click on this one, read message, then will trigger it. So this one be read message. So let's do it here. So this one be read event message dot add event listener. So here will be click. The name of the function over here will be read or handle read messages or handle read event message, then semicolon. So over here will be function handle read current message. Okay, so now this is what we have. So when the user click on this one, then perform this action. So first, what we'll do is that we'll get the last message. In this case, which is this one. Okay, so this one be cons cons current current message is equal to dot document dot query selector. This one be dot message colon last dash child. Then if this one is true, then what we will do is that will be cons message equal to current message dot s content. Then this one be read message. Then this one be message. So this is what I'm trying to do. When the user click on this one, we will get the current message. So over here, let's go and test it and see whether our logic is. So let me type here, let's say slash help and enter. Then click on this one. It's working, but over here it says speech synthesis failed, which is not supposed to be so. The result is undefined. Okay, so instead of undefined, let's make it now. Okay, so now let's go back. Click on it. Okay, so now everything is working fine. Okay, so now the next thing I want to do is to when we click on this one to have the same functionality. So realize that it's having an ID of conversation dash reader dash button. So copy this one from here. Over here will be cons. This one will be read all messages. Document dot get element by ID. Then paste it here. So when the user click on it, so over here, so when the user click on it, so this one be read all messages dot add event listener, and this one be click, and this one be handle read all messages. We have not created a function. Let's create it here. Function handle read all messages. Okay. Now this is what we have. So the first thing that we need to do is get all the messages. So this one becomes chat messages is equal to document dot get element black class name. So we are getting all elements. So this one be message. Then over will be semicolon. Then this one becomes messages is equal to array dot form. So this one be chat messages. Then over here will be map. So this one be message message. Then we need to get the content. So this one be message dot text content. Over here will be semicolon. Over here will be messages dot for each. This one be message. Then read message. That's this one. So now let's go and test and see whether our logic is working fine. So over here will be slash help anything. Okay. So now I click on this one. So now everything is working fine. Let's add additional edge case to our app. So over here will be window dot add event listener. This one be before unload. Then this one be our arrow function. Then this one be if window dot speech synthesize dot speaking. Then over here will be window dot speech synthesize dot cancel. And over here will be semicolon. Okay, so that's it. In the next video, we are going to work on voice detector.